guys, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be about the phrase going slow to go fast and what that really means and how I realized what that really means and an example of how this worked out in my life. As always, these videos are for me more than other people. I realized this phrase and what it actually means when I was studying, and I often find myself struggling even with the realization to apply it to other things in my everyday life. So oftentimes when I'm sitting around knowing that I have stuff to do, it's like I've completely forgotten what the actual things are and I'm just not going slow at all. And what happens is when I'm not going slow, that means that I'm procrastinating, and then all of a sudden I need to rush. So I'm going fast, but I'm not really getting the results because I'm rushing through it. So I first heard this phrase from a YouTuber. Her name is Mina Irfan, and at first I was just kind of like, oh, okay, go slow. Just go slower, take my time. And I was kind of doing it, but I didn't really feel like I was embodying it or really understanding what it meant or appreciating the phrase and what it meant until I was studying. And it actually even wasn't just me studying that one time. I had to have studied and crammed for a couple of times to really realize what it meant. So here I am, I'm studying for a test that's coming up, and I think I have like a week or 2 weeks, something like that, to study for it. And these tests that I'm taking, it's a lot of material. So normally if it was a lower level class, a week or 2 weeks would be perfectly fine, but not for this amount, okay? Just to put it into perspective, it's a lot. So you know that when you're studying and you're cramming, you're looking at all the stuff, the list of things that you have to do to feel okay and ready for this test that's coming up versus the amount of time you have to do it, and you start to internally panic. And you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get this stuff done, right? And so I was doing that. And I would do that multiple times. And I would always make it through, right? I would be fine. I would pass the test. But I would realize as I'm taking the test that in my rush just to pass as many things as I could and just trying to haphazardly get as much in my brain in there as I could without taking the time to actually submit and learn each and every thing in my time of just rushing through that, I noticed that, okay, I get to the test and I see the question and I know I went over that. I know I read that, but I didn't take the time. I didn't take the time to go slow for that material. So I can't remember the little detail that I needed to really get me over the hump and get the question right, or at least feel confident that I got the question right, right? And so then my most recent test, as I was studying, and there's this study tool that's almost like little flashcards on your computer that you can make. And it's quicker than me just writing out in words my own flashcards. So I was doing that knowing that I'm on a time crunch. And there were so many times where I felt the anxiety bubbling up, and my anxiousness was just telling me, you don't even have time to do that. You need to forget the note cards, just pass everything as quickly as you can. Just go back into your old habits, basically. And I was like, that doesn't really work for me though, like as well as I would like it to. It works, I make it through, it's fine, but there's a better way. And the better way is if I just calm down and I look at the slide in front of me or the first 10 note cards that I made in front of me, learn those, and then move on. I could be so much farther than where I am right now. And I can get the material so much quicker than making 100 note cards and then trying to learn all 100 versus learning 10. And then it's so much easier to keep up with the 10 that I learned because I took my time to break everything down and compartmentalize everything down. So now that when I see a question, I really know my stuff. And then somehow, without freaking out and getting crazy and getting hectic and just trying to force everything in my brain, when I went slow, all of a sudden I was getting through PowerPoints and lectures so quick, and it just blew my mind that it, in a way, I slowed down and I had to resist that internal monologue of, you gotta hurry up, you got stuff to do, let's go. Once I got past that and I just slowed down and learned everything that was just in front of me, just learn those 10, learn that slide, just learn this one thing. Learn this one thing first, and then go to the next thing, and keep doing that, and you'll be fine. And you'll learn, and you'll know more than if you would have stretched yourself out like you always do and rushed through everything. Personal growth is the same way. Everything in your life is the same way. Okay? And I've even noticed this. I have been able to implement it a little bit with other things as well. I've even noticed this with lists. Because I have the procrastination issue sometimes, as you can tell by my story, I used to really hate lists because I would end up listing all of this stuff that I had to do, and it would get so long, and I would get so overwhelmed, and I wouldn't do the list, but then I would always have these things that I am procrastinating on and not getting done, and having, again, this overhanging internal feeling of anxiety, anxiousness that I'm not getting done what I wanted to get done. So then I made a big list of everything, just brain vomited on a piece of paper, everything that I wanted to get done, everything that I have been procrastinating. And then what I did after that is I went slow. I said, these are all the things that will make me feel good, that I feel like I really need to get done to feel satisfied, to feel complete, to feel like I'm enjoying life, and to get that anxious feeling off of me, right? These are the things I need to do. And then I went and went slow, and instead of looking at this overwhelming list every day, I take like 4 or 5 things off of that list and do that every day. And if I have more time to do more stuff, then I'll do it. If I don't have more time to do more stuff, then I won't do it. Or if I don't feel like doing more stuff, I won't do it. I'll enjoy what I did and then move on with my life and have a guilt-free day and an anxious-free day. And when I tell you, I've already gotten so much done on this list that I have been procrastinating on because I decided to embody go slow to go fast. Crazy. It's crazy. And I still have my days, which is why I'm making this video, to really solidify how beneficial that has been for me. I'm telling my brain right now, girl, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget your gains, okay? So, I hope that this video has been useful for somebody. It has been useful for me. Sometimes I get off track and forget that I discovered such a wonderful thing. But I'm gonna go back to my list now and be that girl again because I love it. All right, see you guys.